Eliminating country names until I find the most unique. By name explain. We're gonna look at this. That's gonna be interesting. I wonder. In this case, we're gonna look at this. That might be fun. Anyways, we'll jump in.
Not every country has a particularly unique name. Many feature the same words or even word-forming elements within them. This all got me thinking, what's the most unique country name? First off, I need to explain what do I even mean by the most unique country name. Like, how do we even figure that out? Well, unique ultimately means the name is unlike anything else. And for us today, we're going to be comparing uniqueness with other country names and with language as a whole. To find an answer for this one, I've set up a series of checks and criteria.
Okay, we have 3 rounds of finding the most unique name possible for countries. I feel like there's probably some very interesting names, but depending on what uniqueness you're talking about, are you talking about like what the name means, origin, right?
Which I have put against each country name, and if it ticks that box, it's eliminated from the running as the most unique country name. Yeah, this is going to be an elimination style tournament featuring every country name. Well, kind of every country name. It's hard to find a definitive list of country names, as in some cases, where a country starts and ends can be kind of murky at times. So to find a definitive number
Also depends. There's countries, quote unquote, that have declared independency, but they're not countries yet. Depends. Somaliland, that's my guess. Yeah, I've just recently found out that that exists. Somaliland. I've never heard of it before. I just recently found that out.
I'm going with the members of the United Nations. So if there's a country I didn't include in this one, don't blame me, blame them. I also ought to mention I'm using the popular short names for these countries. So I'm not judging the name the Hellenic Republic. Instead I'm judging the name Greece, which is what is way more known as. The last thing I want to stress is that finding an answer for this one has been via my own unique approach. I'm sure you could end up with a different answer entirely if you decided to judge these country names in a different manner. Okay, so we all good? Great, let's begin. Here we have the names of all 193 countries/UN member states. Remember, we're here to find uniqueness. So the first group of countries I think ought to go are the ones which feature words which aren't entirely unique to country names. I'm talking about countries with words like new, or north, or united, or even of and in their names. These are words we use frequently in the wider realm of language. So to me, they should have—
Damn, the United States is out. Other places. Maybe Congo is already out. I don't know. Interesting.
immediately be out of the running in regards to being unique. So this means countries with
Antigua and Barbuda is out. Then Bosnia and Herzegovina. Saint whatever this is. Saint Vincent and the what? Those are actual names? Or Toman Principe. Trinidad and Tobago. New Zealand is all. Well, New Zealand is not yet out, it appears. Not yet, but it's such a good one. Yeah, but they're already gone. And I wonder, like, those are more unique, like, what the fuck, by the way? There's a country named Chad.
And in their name are gone, including but not limited to Antigua and Barbuda, as well as Bosnia and Herzegovina. Also, countries which commonly start with
The Gambia, okay, the Netherlands is also out. Okay, Gambia and Netherlands are also out. The Marshall Islands, they're also out. The Bahamas are out.
like the Bahamas and the Gambia. There's a couple countries which feature island or islands
Solomon Islands is out as well.
in their name too. Think of the Marshall Islands or the Solomon Islands. They're getting booted out here too, as islands is a word we use elsewhere in language as well. The two countries with new in their name, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, are also out of the running.
Oh yeah, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea are also out. Guinea.
Too, as well as countries with directions in their names, so long North and South Korea.
Well, yeah, Chad means lake in old African language. Ah. Chad. North Korea and South Korea out. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? They had North in there.
As well as South Africa, the Central African
South Africa's out, South Sudan is out, Central African Republic is also out. I guess, yeah.
Republic, and South Sudan. Also for this category, we're getting rid of the 3 united countries too. The United Kingdom, the United States, and the United Arab Emirates. I'm also getting rid of the Philippines here too.
The Philippines? But why? But why? Like, do you just like, we're like, you know, their islands get fucked? Is that what it is? The Philippines are also out?
As it just comes from the name Philip. As you can see, this already...
Really? Really? I thought it was more interesting. It actually just comes from the name Philip. That's unfortunate.
got rid of a good chunk of country names. And the next group I'm kicking out are kind of the same, but with a caveat. These are country names which are composed of pretty generic words, but not in English, so they might sound more exotic to English-speaking monoglots like myself.
Depends. Okay. Wait, wouldn't Germany fall into that? Wait a minute.
This includes Costa Rica, which simply means the rich coast, Côte d'Ivoire, which simply means the Ivory Coast,
I have a feeling that Germany's in there.
Ecuador, which basically just means equator, El Salvador, which means the savior, Montenegro, which means the Black Mountain, Norway, which is basically just a corruption of the term the North Way, San Marino, which just means Saint Marino, Sierra Leone, which means Lion Mountain, Timor-Leste, which means East Timor, Ukraine, which means borderland.
Interesting. I think, possibly, Deutschland. German land, if you translate it into, you know.
And Venezuela, which roughly translates into meaning Little Venice.
It doesn't really matter because Venezuela if this continues, Venezuela's gone anyways and be part of the US. The oil was promised to them 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, don't let these names fool you. They're pretty generic too. This really trims down the masses, but my next category is going to whittle things down
Okay, Germany was not in there. Interesting.
even more so. Instead of looking to countries with generic words in them, we're looking at the ones which feature similar word forming elements, specifically suffixes. In English, there's 3 dominant country name suffixes: land, ear, and stan. The fact there's multiple countries which end with these suffixes shows that they really aren't all that unique. Through the ear suffix alone, we get rid of some 40.
The question is, do you also mean land when it's not in English? Is that depends then? We're still fine, by the way. We're still fine here. We're still fine. We're still okay. There's we. There's me. We're still okay here.
Countries. Some, however, when
Wait, that includes India.
knocked out in earlier rounds anyway. Another handful go to the land suffix, including Poland, Finland, and Ireland. I'm also getting rid of Eswatini here too, as that is just the
That's an actual country? Very interesting.
indigenous way of saying its older name of Swaziland. And of course we have the 7 Stan countries ranging from Afghanistan to Uzbekistan. The next way in which we're booting some more countries out of their running is by looking into nations which have similar names to one another. Here at Name Explain we are very familiar with this
We're still okay. We're still in there. We're still in there.
concept. Many of these, however, have actually already been evicted in previous rounds. Slovakia and Slovenia, in example, were cold when we got rid of all the ear countries, but there were still some left standing. Niger, in example, can go now, as it sounds similar to Nigeria, which went with the ear names. We can also get rid of both Congo nations, the 3 Guineas, Dominica and the Dominican Republic,
There's 3 Guineas that are all separate? Interesting.
Iran and Iraq, Paraguay and Uruguay, as well as just Sudan, which sounds like South Sudan, which got kicked out in the first round. And Mauritius leaves us now too, as it sounds like Mauritania, which got kicked out earlier as well. So now we've got rid of countries that feature non-unique words, countries which use common suffixes, and country names that sound alike. We are really getting somewhere in our quest to find the most unique country name. However, what I'm going to do next is really going to separate the weak from the strong, as my next criteria is removing all remaining country names which start with the same 2 letters. Yeah, this might sound tough, but I could be meaner.
That's okay.
I could just get rid of every country which starts with the same singular letter, but that's kind of boring. Doing this decimates the competition.
I'm still standing. We're still. Dougie barely escaped, and I'm still standing. Only Bhutan in this list, by the way. Holy. You should have been eliminated. Never. Germany is strong.
We get rid of countries like Andorra and Angola, which both start with AN. Our CH countries leave us here too, such as Chad, Chile, and China. Guatemala, a country name that sounds pretty unique, goes here too, as there's 3 other countries which start with GU: Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, and Guyana. A huge amount of MA countries leave us here too, like Madagascar, Malawi, and Malta, to name a few. Even Sweden, which feels like it should be pretty unique with its SW, goes away here too, thanks to Switzerland and Swaziland.
Damn. Oh, of course, because of that. Wow, we're still standing. We're still standing.
Swaziland, if we want to count that name as well once again. But with all of this done, we have wiped out a huge number of countries from the running. We started with 193 names, and now we are just at 32. This is
Germany is in the top 32.
where things get interesting, and I feel like we're our semi-finals. For those not keeping track, these 32 countries still in the running are Azerbaijan, Bhutan, Cuba, Cyprus, Djibouti, Egypt, France, Germany, Ghana, Haiti, Honduras, Hungary, Israel,
France doesn't sit well with me. France needs to go.
Italy, Jordan, Kenya, Kiribati, Kuwait, Luxembourg, Mexico, Myanmar, Oman, Peru, Qatar, Rwanda, Spain, Sri Lanka, Uganda, Vanuatu, Vietnam, Yemen, and Zimbabwe. This is a really interesting mixture of
Yemen has a good chance, and Zimbabwe also has a good chance, I feel like. Out of all these names, I feel like Yemen... Wait, Thailand is gone. There's no Thailand anymore. Just kidding. Hold up. Okay, interesting.
Countries. Some of these I totally expected to get to the end. Names like Uganda and Djibouti seem really unique, so I'm not surprised to see them here. And likewise, Qatar and Zimbabwe are the 2 I suspect might be the winner in all of this. And for the record, at the time of writing this video, I don't actually know who is going to win. I'm kind of whittling down the names and writing the script at the same time. But then there's some names I thought would have gone a long time ago. Like, I can't believe those big European
Hey, stop! The French, I agree, though.
Countries of France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, and Spain are all still in the running. These are some of the most well-known of country names on the planet, and because of this, I thought they would have all been pretty generic, but according to my metrics, apparently not. This is probably going to be changing now, however. As for these final 32, we're taking a slightly different approach. To whittle down these names, we're going to be delving into the world of letter frequency. This is exactly what it sounds like. A study more in the realm of maths than language, which looks into how frequently letters appear in language. In our case, the English language. There are a variety of letter frequency studies which use various sources to find their results. Most, however, have fairly similar results. I'm going with this letter frequency study, carried out by Oxford College of Emory University in Oxford, Georgia. Yeah, not that Oxford. Why this one? Well, honestly, it's because it was one of the first ones that came up when I googled letter frequency. Going into letter frequency is really going to cut these numbers down. And before we look at single letters, we're going to deal with bigrams. Bigrams is just a fancy way of saying a pair of letters that appear in words. The study I'm using actually found the most commonly used bigrams in English, with the results being TH, HE, IN, EN, NT, RE, ER, AN, TI, ES, ON, AT, SE, ND, OR, AR, AL, TE, CO, DE, TO, RA, ET, ED, IT,
Germany's out.
SA, EM, and RO. If these 32 remaining names contain at least one of these bigrams, then it's out of the running. And oh boy, this cleans house.
Damn, all gone! All gone! Okay, now it's Cuba, Cyprus, Egypt, and Zimbabwe. I feel like Zimbabwe might have a good chance. Or Cyprus.
Thanks to these bigrams, those European nations are gone. By France, by Italy, by Spain, by Germany, by Hungary. But this also cuts out some of those more unique names too. Azerbaijan is gone now, one I thought was incredibly unique with its AZ at the start. Likewise, we say goodbye to names like Uganda, Rwanda, Djibouti, and Vanuatu here too. But perhaps most surprising of them all, Qatar, a name I honestly thought might take the crown in all of this, is out the running too. Seriously, this is like when Taker got eliminated by Maven in the Rumble. Who saw that coming? We started with 193 nations and names, and after all of these checks,
We just have 4. However, my guy just made a... What's wrong with Egypt? Nothing. I'm just surprised it's still there. Okay, that means we got 4 left. I'm putting it on Cyprus or Zimbabwe.
Eliminations, we are down to just 4. The 4 grand finalists are Cuba, Cyprus, Egypt, and Zimbabwe. I'll be honest with you, aside from Zimbabwe, I did not expect these other guys to make it this far. Cyprus and Egypt I kind of get. Their names are formed of pretty unique strings of letters. But Cuba? How has Cuba made it this far? The absolute underdog in all of this. If you're watching from Cuba, you should be proud. Wait, hold on. Can you even get YouTube in Cuba? Someone go check that. But anyway, we need to find a way to figure out...
Probably not. They have communism.
Which of these 4 are the most unique names? And for that, we delve properly into the realm of maths. Yeah, it turns out Name Explain is just a maths channel now. Who saw that coming? So, how exactly are we going to use maths to solve this issue? Well, it all comes back to letter frequency. In these studies in letter frequency, each letter is given a number which reflects its frequency in the language. The higher the number, the more frequently it appears. In the study we are using, E is seen as the most frequent letter, with a frequency number of 0.12702, while Z is the least common, with a frequency number of 0.00074. What this means is that each letter has a number linked with it, with that number being higher depending on how frequent it is. We're going to use these to find the mean of each country name, and the lowest mean is the winner. We all know about finding the mean, right? Add up all the numbers and divide them by the amount of numbers there are. It's been a while for me, that's for sure. You know what? I remember doing my final ever maths exam and think...
Calm down. Why are we getting into a math lesson? Each Cyprus have neighbor bias. I'm saying Cyprus. I feel like Zimbabwe is out now because of like the multiple letters in there that like M I feel like is pretty common. B's are probably pretty common.
Man, I never have to do maths again. But here we are now, I suppose. We won't go through all of them here in detail as that would be kind of boring, but I'll show you what exactly I mean with that name of Cuba. Cuba is composed of the letters of C, U, B, and A, and their frequency scores are 0.02782, 0.02758, 0.01492, and 0.08167 respectively. If we add up these numbers, we get 0.15199. And we take that number and simply divide it by 4, the amount of letters/numbers in Cuba, and we get our final answer, 0.0379975, which for ease's sake I will round up to 0.038. This is how we will hopefully find out which country has the most unique name. Like I said...
Okay, the letter frequency added up together with all letters in there, and then divided them by 4, and then you get the final result.
I actually don't know the final results yet. I'm going to go do the maths now, and I'll get back to you with the final results. Patrick is mathsing, mathsing, mathsing. Patrick is mathsing, he hates maths. Okay, so I'm back with the final results, and oh boy, it's exciting stuff. I'm so happy to reveal to you all what is, in my estimations, the most unique country name on the planet. In 4th place, with a mean word frequency of 0.055, we have Egypt. Taking
Egypt is Jover.
Bronze, with a mean word average of 0.044, we have Zimbabwe. Yeah,
Okay, that means... Wait. That means it's now between Cyprus and Cuba.
Personal pig didn't take the crown. I was shocked to find this out. This means it's down to just Cuba and Cyprus. 2 nations starting with the letter C. Cuba I didn't expect to be here at all, and Cyprus? I'll be honest, I hadn't really paid it that much attention. It's the underdog versus this silent assassin. Who is going to come up as number 1? Well, as we already know, Cuba's mean letter frequency is 0.038. This means for Cyprus to win the whole thing, it has to have a mean letter frequency lower than it.
I don't think it has, because it has a lot more letters. I feel like it's Cuba.
So now, I can reveal to you all, Cyprus's mean letter frequency is 0.036.
It's Cyprus! Okay, well, Cyprus wins for sure.
Yeah, it's literally a 0.002 difference between the final two. This means Cyprus, of all countries, takes the honour of the most unique country name in the world. What an absolute rollercoaster. Who saw that coming? Congrats to Cyprus and a huge well done to Cuba for making it way further than it had any right to. But yes, in my estimations, Cyprus is the most unique country name. It comes down to the unique mixture of letters that make up the name, as well as the fact it sounds unlike any other country name and lacks things like a commonly used suffix or anything like that. My boy Zimbabwe still did good coming third. I guess that despite it starting with a Z, all those other letters that make it up are fairly common and kept it from being the most unique. This was a really fun and silly video, and honestly, I had an absolute blast making it. It felt like a linguistic Squid Games at times. And as I mentioned up top,
Linguistic Squid Game. Nerd, but understandable. Understandable. Yeah, it was Cyprus. Interesting.
Finding Cyprus to be the winning name was done through my specific choices. Chances are, if you figure this out another way, you would get a completely different answer entirely. Or maybe you would go completely off of vibes. Let me know down below what you think the most unique country name really is. Now, if someone can send a trophy or something to Cyprus, that'd be appreciated. Name Explained depends on viewers like yourself supporting the channel.
All right. That's that was interesting. I wasn't expecting for Cyprus to win this. I am proud of Cyprus. Clap for Cyprus. Yeah, that was very interesting. That was cool. That was very interesting. Yeah, I was expecting stuff with like unique letter starts, like Yemen or obviously Zimbabwe, stuff like that. Shout out to Cyprus, and Hebrew Cyprus called Kafrisin. I butchered that 100%. I butchered that. I murdered that country's name right now. Damn. Anyways, that was interesting. Like, comment, and subscribe.